on a personal level, the digital revolution has been, has worked out for me. I took a job at a dot-com job in 2000, and like every other dot-com at the time, it blew up. But I learned a lot of things that helped me. And even though I'm not a digital native, the technologies are not foreign to me. And I just wish when I was leading a newspaper, I would have taken the people more seriously. It's partly because the leaders of any revolution, they sound sort of religious. Like, oh man, the internet's gonna totally change everything. And you go, okay. And because of the way it's said, you don't realize, oh, you know what? They're right. So I wish I would have taken it to heart, and because part of the problem is it's a fundamental business problem. Any of you guys that take business classes, if there's a business is in one room, but their real business post-disruption is in another room. You can't shut off the light in one room and go turn on the light in the other room. You end up in this long hallway. And there are examples of companies that did really well. Look at Netflix. Used to be the biggest user of the U.S. Postal Service, by far. Now they're the biggest user of the internet. A quarter of the downloaded bandwidth is Netflix, quarter or more. They're totally the exception. And so it's like we're making money, newspaper business, we put white paper out on the street, people give us green paper back. If we put it out on the web, people don't give us jack shit, so why would we do that? And as it turned out, because your future depended on it.
Can you talk a little bit about building your brand, how you went about that, and how important it is for young people to do that, coming from the journalism industry?
Yeah, I think you have to work hard on fitting in first, and then work on sticking out. So it's, are you of service to the organization that you work at? Are you of service to the readers? Are you taking care of business? And the building a personal brand is not really just about you. It's about what work are you recommending? Are you a signal tower of excellence in your profession? Do you retweet your competitors when they do something well? Do you, are you nice? I think on Twitter, sort of the ethic is to be nice. And that isn't really my default as a person. I'm not super nice. One time I was telling my wife how somebody laughed when I said I was a good guy, and I looked at her and I said, I'm a good guy, right? And she said, well, it's not really what you feature. Not that long ago, I was having brunch in New York with Lena Dunham, whose show is called Girls, and she's like a total it girl of New York. I didn't tweet about that. I didn't. It's like, I'm here, you're not. That's what you're saying. So I try and balance, like, tweeting information, but also about my life. I live in the suburbs. I take the bus. Jeff Jarvis, who's a professor at the CUNY School of Journalism, calls it mind casting, which is what you see and what you learn, what you know, good things to highlight, and life casting, which is where you are and what you are doing. And sometimes those things intersect. And you got to remember that it's not, you never know what's going to connect on Twitter. The other day when the whole IKEA meatball thing was going on. I said, raise your hoof if you've ever eaten an IKEA meatball. And that's on its face just a ridiculous thing to say. Raise your hoof. I don't even know what I think. People love that. It's just like it took off and went crazy. And so being well-rounded, being not relentlessly self-promotional, highlighting the good work of others, and this is more technical, but like my Twitter is like 3 older women, and the avatar is 3 older women in cowboy outfits. Pick an image and stick with it. And that's my image. And I see so many people, especially younger people, on Facebook and on Twitter, who are constantly rotating self-shot, glamour shot, and it's like, you know, we don't care that you just got your hair cut. Leave it alone. Just be who you are, and don't be constantly pay attention to the content, not its presentation.
What led you to a career in journalism, and did you ever want to do something different?
Well, I waited tables for 7 years. I used to make jelly beans. I did dig ditches. I worked at a hydraulic tube assembly plant. I caddied. I worked in nursing homes for 5 years. So I've done a lot of different things. I like typing the best. Part of what happened to me is when I was young, I was an insomniac, and I didn't sleep a lot when I was like in 4th grade, 3rd grade, whatever. Some existential crisis I was having at the time. I think it involved Catholic education and nuns. But anyways, we had a basement full of like really crappy books. Like I don't know, they were, you know, the Black Stallion, Hilton's. And not all of them were bad. S.E. Hinton, The Outsiders. And I would sit up at night and read. And I think it was just only natural at a certain point that at a certain point somebody pulled, hit a button somewhere, and the words just sort of came back out. And I've had opportunities in the last 10 years to do different things, and I always say I'm going to, and I never do. So I think I'm 56. I'm probably stuck with what I got going.